Good morning. You are tuned into 1100 WSGI, and this is Lee Marie with The Go Show, your source for information, inspiration, and always a few dates to add to your calendar. I'm so glad that you all have joined us today. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today. Thank you for this show. Thank you for our wonderful county. Please take the show exactly where you want it to go. We love you. We praise you. We need you in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
All right, good morning. All right, so we have a great surprise for everybody today because we have a first-time guest, and that is always super fun to introduce somebody new to everyone. But in the meantime, I do have Stephen here. Thank you, Stephen, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I will be going over some calendar items in just a few minutes. But Stephen, did you want to start with any inspiration, or anything like that, or you want me to just start with calendar and chime in? It's up to you.
Let's talk about what's going on this week because
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff happening. Right now is a good time to be going to church because all of the great Christmas programs are running.
There are a lot of great Christmas programs running. Thank you for reminding me that I do have in my purse. Can you hand me that bulletin down there? That is true. And like, our pastor was talking about at choir rehearsal the other day about there are some people that are going to be coming to church, this week and next week that don't normally go to church. And so this is just a unique opportunity. Some of them have never heard the story of why we celebrate Christmas. So,
I don't know how many people haven't heard about the story of Jesus, baby Jesus story, but I think that's pretty common. I think most people, most cultures have that story down. But the programs that are so inspirational, the music, I know you've got what Grace is having a music program, or both
yeah,
of
there's a
their
lot, and I'm gonna,
services.
yeah, I'm gonna pull up, and just so you guys know, on my Facebook page, I have shared a lot of the Christmas shows that are going on, and I'm gonna be talking about several of them. But one thing, just tonight, it's called One, and then Chaotic is crossed out, One Still Night, and this is GBA and GBC, so Grace Baptist Academy Elementary Christmas program is going to be at 6 p.m. tonight, and Braden is the director of that, and he is such an awesome kids director. So I hope you guys will make that out. That's at Grace Baptist Church tonight at 6 p.m. The kids program, and I know that most of you know where it is, but if I say, some people say, is it the church on the hill? Yep, it's the church on the hill. So
Children are so cute. They're so fun, and usually there's a child that is singing and looking the other way, playing with somebody behind them, and that's always fun. There's always one in the front that looks like they're very lost until they find their mother or their grandmother, and then they're waving the whole time. So that's a lot of fun too. That just makes the thing special. It's organic, and one of the things that I think the guest that was on earlier with Laverne, I heard mention, and a lot of the musicians and a lot of the studio people that we work with in different studios that we go to and stuff, we find out that there's a common grudge that we have against new music right now, and that is that there's so much AI involved in the changing the quality of the voice of the singer. And one of the things that it's a pet peeve of mine is to hear too much AI put on a voice. Now, if you've heard old recordings, you know that voice, there's always been effects put on vocals. If you listen to the old 1960s records, you'll hear that pan reverb, which was very popular and stuff. And they literally put them in a room with a bunch of tin, and the voice would echo off of the tin, a big pan of tin. And so they called it pan reverb. That's how they got that. So we know that we've been putting effects on vocals for a long time. But when it comes to this auto tuning, like he was talking about, and auto harmonies that really make people sound like robots, and it doesn't sound good, and it just doesn't. It really alters the sound too much, and there are other problems with it too. There's a lack of organic qualities to some of the digital recordings that you just missed from some of the tapes. The tape had more. It just had more register to it when things were recorded on tape. So there's a lot of things about the recordings today that are different. A lot of things about listening to CDs is very different. They have a different sound than albums, and we love the old sound of the old vinyl albums. But apart from that, we have this organic thing. So when we talk about organic, and when you see the children's program and you see one child is a little lost in the front until they find a parent or somebody, and then they start waving while they're singing, which is a lot of fun. That's organic, right? And this is what I'm talking about when I say organic. Maybe a singer, you got a great singer. You listen to any old recording. Listen to Frank Sinatra, one of the most popular singers of all time, right? Frank Sinatra. And you listen to Frank Sinatra and say, you know what? He's flat on a lot of notes. He does, I mean, singing flat is part of his technique. That's how he uses it. He's not always in tune. And there are so many like that. When you listen to the old recordings, they don't auto tune these guys. And they had an organic quality gave their music some character. It gave their music a real natural feel. Now I know that, and there's excellent singing, right? You listen to Pavarotti, or you listen to the old Mario Lanza albums, which are my favorite, by the way. I love Mario Lanza. We had the Mario Lanza Christmas albums. Mario Lanza was, if you don't know, Mario Lanza was a famous classical singer. We call him an operatic singer, opera singer, but he did some great Christmas albums. He was in movies and things way back in the 40s and early 50s. He was very popular. Back then, they did things differently, but he had an interesting quality, and a lot of the qualities of that would have been stripped away if they were recording him today. They would have stripped away a lot of the qualities of his voice. So the power of his voice and the amazing quality that he had of his voice, we can still hear today because they were recorded on tape. So a lot of that does get lost in electronic recordings. So just know that. Sometimes digital recordings don't have the ability to capture as much as old vinyl, as old, I would say, old tape recordings that we have on vinyl. But anyway, organic, like I said, organic feel. We went to a show the other day, and it was not corrected by, none of the vocals were corrected or changed or altered in any way, except for a slight amount of reverb that came through, a little bit of compression, what have you. But there was no real AI altering the tonality, the quality of the harmony between instruments. There was no backing band. A lot of people just sang a cappella. Some people just sang with a piano. Some people just sang with a guitar in front of them, and they sang at their own pace. They stretched their tempos. They changed their tempos. They used a lot of, I would say, off-key singing in a way. There was a lot of that going on, and it was very organic and very beautiful, and a lot of them were original songs. And so this is something that I say, very special program with Music City Christian Fellowship. It was such a special program because a lot of these organically performed songs, I would say no backing band, and no AI going on there, no corrections, no changes, no harmonies that were corrected or altered. And I said, that's an experience that you're not going to get any other way. So when you go to see a program, you go to see a program at a church, or you go to a concert where it's just very organic, it's in somebody's living room, or if it's in a back, a very small venue where there's not a lot of people, and you just have a solo artist up there just singing or walking around like the old mariachis that would walk around the restaurants and sing, you get such a different feel from that. I grew up with that. I grew up with listening to people standing in front of me singing with no electronic alterations. Okay, so that is a different feel, and it's something that's so powerful to have the presence of the person raw right in front of you, singing their heart out, playing their heart out. It is so different. And I think we've lost that with the earbuds in our ears all the time, listening to electronically recorded music, listening to digitally recorded music that's been chopped up so much. The ranges have been chopped down. The dynamics are missing. There's so much that's missing from that we don't get. So when you have the opportunity to come out and see people live in an organic setting, you need to take the opportunity to go do that and treat yourself to an experience that you're just not going to have very often. And that's something I grew up with. It's something that inspired me. I mean, the first time I went to a beach party and they were doing, somebody brought a guitar when I was a little kid and they were playing the guitar and singing. It was like a magical moment. I mean, I was transformed by the sound of that music right in front of me, that organic sound, very natural. I mean, out on a beach, there's no way to alter those harmonies. I mean, it has to come to you raw. And that was an experience that was so transformative in my life. And I was forever fascinated by the singer-songwriter, forever fascinated.
That is very cool. Thank you. All right. This is Stephen Astaire. He is my first guest today, and we do have another special guest. We have Mark Thomas coming on at 8:30. But I do want to let you know that Southside in Springfield has a lot of wonderful gifts for your Christmas list. So go visit them. They are at 1000 South Main Street. They're not just a full service pharmacy, but they have lots of things from the local makers and bakers. Their hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturdays, 8 to 4. You can visit their website at southsidedrugco.com, and you got to go by and just see their windows because Leslie's done an amazing job, right? Isn't she the one that does the windows? They have these big, beautiful, pink, fabulous ornaments and stuff. So go by Southside. Make sure you tell them that Lee Marie sent you. Another one of our friends over here is Coldstream Christian Camp. I know a lot of you guys made it out to the open house. You braved the freezing weather on Sunday. Good for you. Coldstream Camp, you guys got to get your dates on the schedule now because they do fill up very fast. You know, you can do your women's retreat there, your kids camp, but you got to get those dates in fast. So Coldstream, phone number 615-696-2208, 615-696-2208. You can visit their website at coldstreamchristiancamp.org, and they're located at 4730 Goodman Road in Adams. They're only about 15 minutes from the square, guys, even though you feel like you're a world away. So make sure you check out our friends there. This is The Go Show. We come on every single Wednesday, and we talk about great things to do. And like we started today, there are so many things to do. So please get out, invite people. We started to talk about Grace tonight has their kids service, but this Sunday is the choir's cantata, and it's called On This Very Night. And so the choir will be doing about 5 beautiful songs at both of the services. And so those services are at 8:30 and 10 over at Grace. And then also that night is their Christmas candlelight service. And so you don't want to miss that. That's at 5 p.m. So Sunday, December 21st, in the morning is the Christmas cantata. And then at that same night is the candlelight service. And I know a lot of churches are doing candlelight services, so I tried to share several of them on my Facebook page so that you could find them. But I love candlelight services, and again, it's a great thing to invite people to. I know a few years ago we invited, I don't know, I think about 10 or 12 people to the candlelight service who and I was so surprised that every single person said yes.
When we talk about candlelight services, I think you should also recognize that that is a very important spiritual experience for people to go through. When you have a candlelight service, it changes everything. It changes the atmosphere. And one of the things that's missing in a very dry, very conservative, dry culture are extraordinary experiences. People look to sporting events and things to have an extraordinary experience. But to immerse yourself in an extraordinary experience like that, it's one of the things that's been missing in a lot of areas of our culture. If you look back into the past of humanity, the history of humanity, we've had very interesting and extreme elaborate ceremonies and things that immerse people in an extraordinary experience. And a lot of that has sort of been stripped away or dumped down in a sense where it's sort of not as exciting as it used to be, right? I mean, you can go back in the history of the Americas and see that they had all kinds of crazy things, and you can go back into the history of of Europe, and you can see they have all kinds of wild things going back on there, and the various religions and the various religious practices that had ecstatic experiences that the people were involved in. When you have a religious experience and you have a religious ecstatic experience, which is called an extraordinary experience, in my opinion, they change, they transform, they make you think about life differently. Okay, it's one of those things that makes you say, you know what? There's more to life than just going through everyday stuff, right? There's more to it than that. That life is exciting and it's fun, and there are experiences that make us pause and make us think about things a little bit and go a little bit deeper. And we feel a deeper connection to who we are. We feel a deeper connection to our people, our history, and our challenge. And a candlelight experience is one of those ecstatic experiences that does this. And we need to have as many of these opportunities as we can because, see, our culture doesn't have it anymore. And I think kids get bored really easily. And these are the kind of things that sort of stimulate them and make them excited. And I have always been stimulated and excited by these kinds of experiences as well. So even as a child, I always thought that was really, really powerful. And I know that we enjoy these things. They're enjoyable, right? And it's not crazy, it's fun. So anytime we can have an experience like this, please take the opportunity to liven up your life a little bit and do this. This is why we go to shows and why we sing. This is why we sing in church, why we sing the old traditional hymns. This is a religious experience that we are putting ourselves through. And it's one
There,
of those things that makes life worth living. And we might work hard to make life possible in our everyday jobs, but to make life worth living, we need to have these special experiences in our life. We need to allow that to happen. For children, we need to make space for that for children. And if we can, I think that we will have a happier, more content society. And I think that we want to get away from this craziness with people, you know, drinking and using drugs to try to have these experiences when these come naturally to us in our natural rituals that we find every day in churches across this land. People have these experiences every single Sunday when they go to church. They sing traditional songs together. It happens when you go dancing, when you do formal dances. It happens when you're waltzing. These are all part of. And if you look in the Bible, you can see musicians, dance, all of the arts are part of this stuff. And we need to focus on that. We're talking about focusing on arts and the fine arts. So important to understand that when we talk about that. Painting, drawing, sculpture, singing, dancing, all of these things come to us. And what we do is we offer these things to God. These are our offerings because, you know, we work for a living. We work hard for a living, right? We go out and we pound nails for a living. We break rocks for a living, right? We build stuff. But for our religious and our spiritual side, what do? Well, it's part of the fine arts. Fine arts are like a gift from God in the same way that learning to work hard is a gift too, but it's also an offering. It's something that we offer up to God, our talents, right? What's the little drummer boy song, which I love so much, right? He comes to play for him, right? He comes to play the drum for him. He's offering his talent up to God. And what do the wise men bring? What the wise men from afar, right? They bring frankincense, myrrh, gold, right? These are offerings to the baby Jesus. This is one thing that we can say. We focus on this, right? We see, should there be funding in the schools for fine arts? Oh, yes, there should be. Why? Because this is how we offer our talent back to God, the God who gave us talent, right? I don't care what religion you come from, anywhere in the world. This is what people are doing all the time because we're built to worship.
that's
It's
right.
built into us, right? We're
Hmm.
built to offer that talent to God. So the fine arts are so important. And these religious experiences and these ecstatic experiences that we have in an organic way are so important. And when, like I said before, when we let AI take that over for us, it really cheapens and it really shortens. It really steals. It's a forfeiture of our offering in a sense. And we're allowing it to be stolen. We're allowing this experience to be stolen from us. So it's so important to see live music wherever you go. It's so important to see that. It's so important to have these candlelight experiences.
All
And it's
right. So I
part,
did
folks, but it's
find.
also part of your spiritual health. We're talking about health and wellness, right?
Yeah.
And well in the square. But your spiritual health is at stake here, folks. So you want to make sure that you take care of yourself spiritually. Take care of that health, that spiritual health by getting out and having these organic experiences as often as you possibly can.
All right, we only have a few minutes left to go over calendar items, so I'm going to go over them kind of quick because I did see our 8:30 guest arrive. There are some more candlelight services that I did share on my Lee Marie page. Fluellen Baptist is doing a candlelight Christmas Eve and communion service on Wednesday, December 24th at 5 p.m. And then Cedar Hill Baptist is also doing a candlelight on Christmas Eve at 6 p.m. And there's a whole bunch. Long Hollow's doing one. I shared a lot on my Facebook page, guys, and I just really encourage you all to make special memories. You know, people don't remember the gifts; they remember the experiences. And so, again, call up people and say, "Hey, there's this thing going on. I don't want to go by myself. Can I pick you up?" You know, that's just a great combo that just, it's hard for people to say no to that. So I just really encourage you all to do that. And I'm scrolling on my Facebook page. I do want to thank all the carolers that came by well in the square to sing in front of us on Saturday. They were adorable, and there's pictures of them on there, and they were so sweet. And there's also a picture of Aaliyah, our princess of the night. You know, we had our old-timey Christmas ball on Friday night. It was super fun. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for dressing up. And Gary and Rhonda Rastelli, they got the best dressed couple of the night. And if you see that picture of them, you're going to be blown away because it is awesome. And so I hope that you guys will take a look at the Lee Marie Facebook page. Also, guys, remember we do have a couple local senior centers here that are so wonderful. Like, the Robertson County Senior Center has a lot of great things going on. They got a calendar here. I know that today is Wednesday the 17th. They have some stuff going on today, but tomorrow they actually have bingo in the morning. They have a potluck. They're going to be doing another chair volleyball. Just, guys, make it a New Year's resolution to get more involved and to take care of yourself and do these things. And then lastly, Well in the Square, guys, a lot of ways to improve your health and your happiness, guys, because you need to be moving it or you lose it, right? Stephen, who was just here, he has a wonderful flexibility and body efficiency class, guys, teaching breathing and just things that will just increase your oxygen, increase your energy, increase your strength and agility. He does these every single Monday at 9 a.m. to 9:45. Bring a squishy mat. Classes are only $10 or a 12-class punch card for $99. Of course, Cindy Norton does her resistance band class every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m., or 10:15, excuse me. And that has been so helpful. I know that she does supply the bands for you guys. It's only a $5 class, guys. There's no excuse to not be in shape. And then, of course, I do my line dance for fun and fitness every Tuesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11:30. And I also do it on Tuesday nights at 5:30. And this is a $10 class. We have fun, guys. I don't care if you have 2 left feet or 3 left feet, if you have no experience, whatever, get in class. You know, we're just moving around to great songs. A lot of them are worship songs. Right now, we're doing a lot of it to Christmas songs. So super fun time at Well in the Square. And then, of course, we do have our sewing class every Monday at 10 a.m. with Miss Carla. All right. Mark Thomas. Hey. There we go. Now I got your microphone on.
Lee Marie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you want to leave your code in there? Because it is pretty stuffy in here. It's up to you. Okay. All right. Well, I am so glad you made it. This is Mark Thomas, guys, and this is the first time the WSGI has been able to have him on, so I am super excited.
I'm so glad to be here.
Did you have any problems finding it or anything?
Nope, no, just followed GPS.
All right, awesome. All right, so Mark Thomas is, okay, all right, I'll turn up his mic. Thank you. And we'll probably have to move that mic a little bit closer. You can move that whole map towards you. Thank you, Miss Linda. Linda's helping out in the wings, and he's got a lot of titles, actually, because not only are you like director extraordinaire of so many shows, but you're also a musician, a teacher, a singer, an actor. Is there anything that you don't do?
Well, yeah, I don't do math.
All right, you can be in my club. Very cool. All right, there we go. Right there, we got a close-up of Mark Thomas. So what is your official title?
Well, depends on where I am, I guess. You mean how do I make a living?
Yes.
I sing, I play, I write, I arrange, music direct, I lead worship, I'm a vocal coach, piano teacher,
Wow.
actor.
And how long have you been doing that?
Well, playing piano since I was a kid.
Okay.
And it was kind of the doorway to everything else in my life. I was born incredibly shy.
Oh.
So piano was a good choice that my mom forced upon me because I didn't have to talk, and the piano could kind of be my voice.
Very cool. Did you when did you know that this is what your career was also going to be?
Well, it came in stages. I started piano lessons, I guessed, in maybe first or second grade, and I really didn't have a clue what was going on. I never practiced. The lessons were at the church. This college kid was teaching lessons, and I'm sitting in the sanctuary at this big grand piano. I don't know, have any idea what I'm really doing. And he says, "Did you practice this week?" And I would say, I didn't speak, but I said, and I thought, Mark, you are lying in church. So it was pretty miserable. So finally, my mom let me quit after maybe less than a year, I would say.
Oh my goodness.
But my dad was an incredible musician. He played stringed instruments, and he had a bluegrass band. He played guitar, dobro, everything with strings. And on piano, he could play a boogie bass just with his left hand.
Wow.
And he taught me that boogie bass.
Oh.
And one day in fifth grade at recess, it rained. And so they moved us to a room that had a piano. So while everybody's playing their board games and talking, I walk over to this piano and I played this boogie bass. And instantly, everybody in the room came running over to see what was going on. And
that was a turning point.
yeah, so I came home and said, "Dad, teach me something else." He said, "Well, you'll have to take lessons. That's all I know." So I said, "Okay, I'll try that again." So fifth, sixth grade, I started lessons. By seventh grade, I became the pianist. This was forced upon me, the pianist for like my Sunday school class. Way before I was able to do, like the teacher gave me a hymnal and said, "You have to play for our class." And I took it home, and it was so hard. All I could play was the melody. I could pick out the melody, and I was too embarrassed to play the melody. So my elderly piano teacher had been teaching me scales and chords. We never did anything with them, but I could play them. So I realized, well, this soprano, alto, tenor, bass, that makes a chord. So now, without realizing it, I'm teaching myself how to improvise on these hymns because I couldn't read the voice parts. I started making up a piano part.
Wow.
So by ninth grade, I was playing for the big church. By my senior year, a big Baptist church down the street called me to be their church pianist. And I was thinking I was going to get a law degree and get into politics, and I had a secret desire to be president. I didn't tell anybody, but all the testing I took, my interest was in the judicial system and Congress and politics. April of my senior year in high school, my Christian piano teacher, I switched teachers, said, "What are you doing this fall?" I said, "Well, I'm going to get a pre-law degree and get it." She said, "Really?" She said, "What about piano?" I said, "What about it?" She said, "You don't want to major in music?" I said, "You can do that?" I had no idea. I said, "How do you make money when you graduate?" She said, she hadn't been to college herself. She said, "I don't know. All I know is I've taught thousands of kids, and you're different than them." So I did. I prayed about it, and the Lord answered with one word: piano.
Isn't that great? And you know what? That's so funny that you said the Lord answered in one word, because I have had him do that to me so many times, and that's how I know, kind of like when I got to town and I was like, whatever because we've only been here 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Lord, whatever you want us to do, because I had a few degrees, a couple master's degrees, and I had actually worked in politics a long time, so maybe
Did
we
you
should
really?
talk at some point." But anyways, I said, "But I'm open to anything, Lord." And he's like, "Radio."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Radio, sure," because I've never done that. I'm not trained. But, and then another time when I was at a retreat and I was praying really hard under a tree because it was like silent time by yourself, and I was just like praying for a word. And he just said, "Thirst,
Mm.
thirst for me." And so it's special when I also hear,
Yeah, and the cool thing about it was, so that fall I went to this university to audition. There were 3 piano teachers there, a chairman and 2 teachers, and I played for them. And they said, "What degree are you interested in?" I said, "I have no idea. I don't know anything about this." I said, "What do you have?" And they said, "Well, we have a music education degree." And I was like, "Oh, what's that?" "Oh, you take all these education classes and you become a public school teacher when you leave." I just started sweating. I was like, I can't do that. I was still shy. I couldn't imagine facing a classroom at that time. I was like, oh my goodness, no, I don't want to be a school teacher. I gave up the presidency for music. And then they said, "We also have a performance degree." I said, "What's that?" "Oh, that's where you just study piano." So when they said piano, that connected with what the Lord had told me. I said, yeah, I
Mm.
want a piano degree. And the two lady teachers said, oh, we don't think you have the background for that. And the chairman of the department said, I think he could do it. So they accepted me, and then I requested him for a teacher, and he
Oh.
believed in me.
And where was this?
This was in Missouri, Southwest Baptist University.
Oh, okay.
After my freshman year, he said, Mark, I'm leaving the school, and if you're very serious about being a performance major, you need to leave too.
Oh.
So I did. And I went to the University of Missouri, St. Louis, where the Lord put me with this incredible concert pianist from Vienna. She had been a child prodigy, played with all the orchestras, it competed in the international Chopin competition.
Wow.
It was just, and she had become a born again Christian the summer that I started studying.
Oh my
with her.
gosh. Wow.
Concert pianist, and she was influential in my life. She lived to be 98 until the day she died.
Now, did you grow up in Missouri?
In St. Louis.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. And so then when did you come to Nashville? How did that happen?
Um, I went to Kansas City Conservatory. I started my master's there, and it got interrupted when the girl I was dating at the time wanted to audition for Opryland. Do you know what Opryland is?
Mhm.
So we drove to Nashville. I played for her audition, and I think they were paying singers like $200 a week, and it said pianist, music director is $550. And I was a poor grad student, and that just sounded astronomical to me at the time. So I said, well, I'll audition while I'm here. So I auditioned. A few months later, they called me. So that got me here in a roundabout sort of way.
now she didn't get the audition.
No,
I
she
take it. Okay.
But
That's
that-
happened to me before too, where my best friend and wanted me to go audition, and I didn't want to because I was already busy, and I went, and of course I get it, she doesn't. But
That's
anyway,
right.
go ahead.
Well, I got it, and then a few months into the gig, a singer got hurt, and we had to replace somebody. I said, "Hey, I know somebody," so they trusted.
it.
They trusted my opinion on that.
Ah.
So, but that got me to Nashville, and we rehearsed here, and this was our home base. But they sent us to Branson, Missouri, for 6 months. We did two-hour reviews every night.
Wow. So Opryland sent you there.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
So I did that for 6 months, which knocked me out of going back to conservatory in the fall.
Mm.
It went through Halloween. So, long story short, I ended up at Southern Seminary
Mm-hmm.
in the music department there in Louisville. I studied with Dr. Maurice Henson, internationally acclaimed
Wow.
piano pedagogue. And then from there came to First Baptist Church Smithville as full-time music and youth. And from there to Nashville.
Okay. Now you're in Madison.
My church is
Your
in
church.
Madison, yeah.
And how long have you been there?
Good long time, 15 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've been the worship leader there the whole time?
Yeah, it's part-time. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. Very good.
mainly my Sundays.
Okay. But I know you do a lot of other projects.
Yeah.
And, we were talking, Stephen was talking a little bit about last Saturday's, Christmas show.
Mhm.
And so that was the kind of like the straw that I said, oh, we have to have Mark on
Oh.
because I really just enjoyed the song that you did so much.
Were you at Sunday Morning Country?
Yes. Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was another thing that I'd like you're the official person, the first official person to be able to talk about that too, because
Okay,
I
awesome.
wanted to start advertising that. I do have the flyer here. So
Oh, yeah.
there we go.
Not too soon to think about
right.
that.
Our calendars get so busy that we
Yay.
need to do that. So we make a little transition here. I'm going to just talk about another one of our sponsors.
This coffee is brought to you by, can I say it?
Sure.
Crystal.
All right, there you go. That's the coffee of the day. All right, so we want to talk a little bit about UPS because it's not just the place that you take your packages to, guys. They are one of our special sponsors here, and they are so conveniently located right there by H.G. Hill. And guys, they have a lot of different things that they can do for you. Not only, of course, packaging, but they can make really cool gifts. They can take your photo and make a canvas thing, and there's a crazy thing. everything. So, guys, get into UPS Store. Tell them Lee Marie sent you. They're at 513 Memorial Boulevard in Springfield. Their phone number is 615-384-0093. One thing that I really love with UPS Store is whatever I'm working on my computer, I can just email it to that store and go and pick it up and it's ready. So that's a great feature, especially this time of year. And then, of course, just down the street, we have Ridgetop Mower of Springfield. Gary Rastelli is over there for all of your mower needs. Now, I know it's not mowing season anymore, but you might have a kerosene heater that needs to be serviced. You can take that on into him. Also, guys, remember it's hibernation time for your mowers. So there's certain things you want to do for your mower before you lock it up for the season. So make sure you get over to Ridgetop Mower of Springfield. They are right behind Ace Hardware on Matthews Street, and their phone number is 615-855-0044, 615-855-0044. Mention Lee Marie and the Go Show and you get 10% off parts and labor. And let me tell you, Gary and Rhonda were the best dressed couple at our old-timey Christmas ball this past Friday. So thank you guys for dressing up and looking so amazing, because people just absolutely loved. Everybody wanted to get their picture with them. So good job, Gary and Rhonda. All right, we are back in studio with Mark Thomas. He is an amazing musician, teacher, singer, songwriter, actor. And we're so blessed to have him in the community and here on our show as well. So I wanted to introduce you guys. And recently I went to your church for your Thanksgiving concert, which was fabulous. Now I heard, let me put this back up. There you go. Sorry, I didn't have your mic back up. I heard that you did some of that decorating on the altar too.
Oh, that
is that true?
Corn stalks, yeah. That's I don't have a big budget there. And,
that was the most fabulous Thanksgiving decorations I've ever seen.
The very first year we did it, I had mentioned, we need to do something to make it look like fall. And I mentioned to the church secretary, maybe I could pick up some corn stalks. And I never did. I was busy with charts and stuff. And she called me the day of the concert and said, hey, I just saw a place selling corn stalks. I said, well, buy a couple bundles. So she did. And, we had those tall galvanized urns. I stuck those corn stalks in there. I thought, wow, that looks bad. That looks like a few corn stalks in a galvanized urn. So I walked around the church and I went to the flower room and found some silk flowers, some sunflowers and stuff, and stuck those in there with it. And then it just grew and grew and grew.
Well, I took pictures of just some of those because it was just so amazing when I walked in.
It's so easy.
Really?
So simple.
I'll have to post that. I know people are going to ask, and so I'll need to post those pictures on my Facebook page. But yeah, I've never seen just so large and beautiful. So great job. And that was such a fun night. I loved that. I loved taking time out to just, thank the Lord. I mean,
you were a Mary that night, not a Martha. You weren't home baking and sweeping and cooking. You were offering at the feet of Jesus, offering praise and thanksgiving.
Yeah, so that was great.
So
I'm glad you did
it's
that.
the short shift, unfortunately, and it's an incredible, gratitude. I had a professor who used to say Thanksgiving is the gateway to Christmas, and gratitude is just the gateway to daily life. Yeah. And for the great gift that's been given us, we have to live in devotion and gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Amen. All right. So you briefly mentioned Sunday Morning Country. So tell people what that is.
Well, Sunday Morning Country was started by Joe Babcock and several others. I believe Lynn Fox. And Joe was really big in the music business for years and years. He founded the First Edition, a backup group, a quartet of singers who sang on, listen to this, 150 number ones.
Wow.
George Jones needed backup, he would call the First Edition. Whoever needed backup, they called the First Edition.
Wow.
And he founded that, and he also sang on Hee Haw. He was on Hee Haw for 30 consecutive years. Wow. So Joe Babcock decided that, that it was fanfare back then. And he thought, all these people are coming from everywhere and nowhere to go to church on Sunday. We should have worship right here. Offer a worship service for the fanfare audience. So he just got on the phone, called up his friends who were incredible country music stars, that gave them an opportunity to, carry the banner of Christ, to say, hey, I'm a Christian, and to offer a song and a testimony. So it started in 1983,
Mhm.
82, 80, one of those. So he started it then. And a couple years into it, he said, I think we should have a country chorale. And so he met with a little bit of resistance. They said, really, Joe, a choir? A choir's not country. Well, this one's going to be. And so he assembled, through the Music City Christian Fellowship, that's who sponsors this every year. He assembled a country chorale, and he led it for years and years and years. And I sang in it for years. And one night I showed up at the Musicians Union for rehearsal, and John Reese, the rehearsal pianist, wasn't there. And Joe said, we don't have a piano player. I said, well, I could help you, Joe. He said, Mark, you can play. Do you know Joe?
Yes.
That sounds pretty much just like him. Mark, you can play. I said, yeah, I'll play for you, Joe. So I became the rehearsal accompanist.
Oh, from that point on.
Yeah. And then several years into that, Joe decided to retire, and he asked his worship leader to take over leading the choir. So now I played for him. And then he moved, I think, to Florida. They needed somebody.
Okay.
And I told Lynn, I said, well, Lynn, I could do that job. I mean, he had no idea, what I do fully. And he said, Mark, you think you could do it? I said, yeah, Lynn, I'm pretty sure I could do that. So I've got a bachelor's and master's, and
Yeah, really.
and I've got a lifetime of choral conducting experience.
There's a cool picture right there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we were
Cool.
talking to him outside.
I love Joe. Oh my gosh, Joe is just the most gracious, the most Christ-centered and loving and kind, and he's all good things.
And he's got quite a few grandkids now, huh?
He does, yeah. Great family.
Got to meet some of them the other night. All right, so this is going to be now. So you've been directing. So you were just doing the piano, but then when did you become like the choir director?
When Dave moved, the one that his worship leader he gave it to when he retired, and then when Dave moved, Lynn passed it to me.
Okay.
It's been several years. I think it was pre-pandemic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it's just one of my favorite weeks of the year. Y'all got to come sing in it.
Well, we enjoyed it. Last year was our first year singing in it, and we had so much fun, and we made so many friends.
Yeah. Oh, my goal is for it to be spiritually satisfying and meaningful, musically satisfying, and fun and fellowship.
Yeah.
That's
And it was all of those. And, we had added so many of those people on Facebook, as friends. And so following them now this whole time. So it's going to be great, in June, because it'll be like, like the reunion,
It's the Sunday of CMA Fest. Rehearsal starts on Wednesday. We rehearse Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And like you said, it's a fun time. It's something you look forward to. And then on Saturday, we have a run through with the artist and the band.
Now, what's the top amount that you've ever had? Do you know?
In choir?
Yeah.
We're right at 90.
90. How big can it get?
90. That's all the
We're capped
Opry
out,
has
huh?
room for.
Okay.
So you need to be a member of Music City Christian Fellowship. I think dues are $50 a year.
Yes.
And then you have to get on the list. Get on it early, because once we top out, there's nowhere to
That's it.
put you.
Okay. All right. So if people want to go, there are advanced tickets, which are much cheaper than if you get them.
Oh,
through
you
the
can't get in the Opry House for, I think they're 40 this year or 45.
Yes, 40 pre-sale if you get them through some of the people that are in the show. So, and then I think 90
I can
at the
sell them.
door.
I bet you can sell them.
Yeah. So anybody that's in the show will have. Well, they can have tickets. We ended up getting several batches last year because we started with one batch, sold those, and then every rehearsal we were getting more.
Yeah.
So we sold a few batches, which were easy to.
We'll come back as it gets closer and bring some musicians and sing.
Yes,
some
that's
songs.
what I would like to do, because really, you're not that far away. It's not that.
Right.
So, I'd love to, because the audience too, we have plenty of room in the audience for people, and that, that's something that everybody should be at.
Right.
Is it just so inspirational and so much talent? I can't believe all the talent that is under one roof at that time.
Once you come, you'll become a regular.
Well, and that's what happened with us. We had just been 2 years ago. We had been invited to just come as as people in the audience, and we were just blown away. That's why we said, okay, we need to look into this, And so then the next year, we got Stephen and I got to be in it, and that's where we first met you, and we were just like, man, this guy is so awesome. So I'm glad that you keep doing it. So now you also teach kids
I do, and adults.
and adults.
And
So tell
pros.
people about that. Are you taking new students? Are you able to?
Yeah, it just depends on scheduling. Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I have a bachelor's and master's in music, and I teach two tracks, like a railroad track. This track is traditional reading, classical, become a great pianist theory. And this track is how to jam and play in a band or accompany yourself when you're a singer. Now, if you're a little kid and you come in, I hope for the best, and I start them jamming, and then I bring this in. I try to keep them on both tracks for as long as I
Nice.
can. But if you're an adult or a singer who wants to accompany herself, or a songwriter who's looking to be able to write at the piano,
Mhm.
I can speed you on this other track.
Mm.
And it's just like taking guitar lessons. You learn how to jam instantly,
Okay.
which is really rare for
Yeah.
piano lessons.
That's awesome. And so tell people, how do they get a hold of you if they want to sign up for
You
lessons?
could find me on Facebook.
Okay. So Mark Thomas and
If you're in Murfreesboro or Smyrna, I teach at Carpe Artista Academy,
okay.
but I also teach in Nashville.
Okay. And do you do any home, like do you drive to anybody's
No.
places? No.
But
Okay.
I've got students I've never met all over the country. I do FaceTime and
Okay,
online.
FaceTime. Okay. Very good.
Online.
How many students do you think you have right now?
I'm afraid to
Ish.
count them.
A lot, I am sure. How long have you been teaching, would you say, consistently? How many years?
I started maybe at 16
Wow.
when I
So 10 years.
after that freshman year in college, or even my senior year, I started driving to people's houses.
Wow, that's great. All right. And now you are worship leader at Madison
Faith Baptist.
Faith Baptist
Baptist
in
Church.
Madison. What time are their services? Because some people may
Sunday
wanna just
morning
go
at
there.
10:30. We'd love to have you.
Okay, every Monday.
And this coming Sunday is our Christmas worship concert.
Oh, okay. So it's at 10:30.
hmm
Do you guys do a midweek also or not?
They are right now, but I think it's going to discontinue for winter.
Oh, okay. All right. And where is this church located?
1602 Gallatin Road North,
Okay.
37115, next to the Home Depot.
And what does your worship team over there look like? Because I know the only time I've been there was when you had the Thanksgiving
Mhm.
thing. So,
Yeah, I bring in all those professional musicians for that. We're pretty small. It's just drums and bass and keys right now.
okay.
But uh,
And do you have other singers or is you
Yeah.
okay. Do you have a choir?
no,
Okay.
we had to do away with choir during COVID, and it never came back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that
We're an older congregation, and it's
okay.
yeah.
All right. I know that choirs in churches are kind of rare right now because we're singing in a cantata this Saturday at Grace Baptist, and the pastor came and talked with all of us at the rehearsal the other night and said that he had someone come up to him and say, "You guys have a choir here?" And he said, "Yes, we do," because
a
I've been
good
looking
thing.
all over, and so not a lot of churches do that anymore.
I consider choirs. I consider country chorale modern day Levites. They're the lead worshipers who go before.
Definitely. Awesome. All right. So one more time, how do we get a hold of you if you want to, if people want to get lessons or
Well,
want to
then
book you
call
for a show?
or they can find me on Facebook, Mark Thomas.
And then you know what we didn't talk about? I know you're part of some performance groups because
Yeah.
I've been seeing some shows. And so can you tell me a little bit about those groups and what they do?
Well, I sing with the Music City Quartet.
Okay.
And we have a blast. And we sing a big variety. We sing a lot of country Christian, some Southern gospel, but we also do 50s, 60s, 70s. We do a big variety. So we'll do state fairs and just whatever the gig is, whatever the person needs.
So once again, give them the title of that band.
Music City Quartet.
Okay, that sounds real
And
fun.
we have a Facebook page as well.
Okay. Do you guys do you have any things that are out like that we can put on our radio? Because WSGI now is a goal. In fact, you can take that sticker because that's your souvenir from today. We now play good old gospel. So
Yeah.
we play quartets and Southern gospel. We can play some Johnny Cash and Elvis, and so we would love to get more
I'll get
local
you some stuff.
people
Okay.
on there. So
Awesome, yeah.
you have some tracks. We can get
Okay,
them
yeah.
to. Brother T. Rawls is the one who does this. He's from American Top Gospel. I don't know if you've heard of him, but y'all might want to check out his Facebook group. It's called American Top Gospel, and he is a promoter in this area. He brings a lot of the quartets and Southern gospel groups here. But also he does post, like I know that there's something coming up this weekend in nearby states like North Carolina, Georgia, and Kentucky. All have some stuff going on this week. So, we're so blessed here to be so close to,
Oh, yeah.
to so much good stuff. But yeah, let me mention that real quick here. So American Top Gospel, here we go. It's called the Next Generation Quartet and Live Band. So, so this Thursday, that is at the Hopewell Baptist Church in North Carolina. And then Friday, let's see, Georgia, and Saturday, can't read, the print is a little bit small, but I'm going to go ahead and just share that on my page because, like Stephen was saying earlier, there's nothing like live music, absolutely.
Oh,
And Well in the Square, just so you guys know, if you haven't been over there lately, we have a beautiful stage in there now, and it's all decked out for Christmas, but it's a gorgeous stage. My father-in-law actually made it, and all along the front, he did these little cutouts of crosses and flags because he said, well, we're Christian and we're patriotic. And so that's all around the sides of it. It's beautiful. But if you haven't been into Well in the Square lately, you guys should go in because we absolutely have a gorgeous little venue now there. And I'm looking to bring some more live stuff because I absolutely love live shows. So this is Mark Thomas, guys, and you can get a hold of him through Mark Thomas on his Facebook page, or like he said, you can also text me and I can get your information to him. What else? Is there anything else you'd like to tell people? Because we do have a lot of people in Robertson County who are listening on the radio, but we also do have people that that listen far out in other states and other countries even. And so, is there anything that the Lord's put on your heart that you want to share?
Just believe, have faith, walk in faith, not by sight.
Mm-hmm.
When you pray, believe in your heart that you have received what you're asking for. And Jesus said, it will be yours.
I love it.
Told the lady with the issue of blood, your faith has made you whole.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Awesome. Great message, guys. All right. So we have just a few minutes left. And so is there anything else, Linda or Steven, that you guys need to add in before we sign off? No? All right. So, guys, just a reminder, go to my Facebook page. It is just Lee Marie, 2 words, and you will see a lot of different things. I know the White House Community Band is doing their concert this coming Saturday at 7 o'clock, and we have that right here. It's at the White House Middle School, but it's an adult group, and it is free admission there. Also, if you guys wanted line dance with us, Stephen and I are going to be teaching line dance in Nashville at L&L Market, and that's going to be right in the middle of the shopping center. It's indoors, so you won't be cold, but we're going to be teaching some line dance from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., and we are going to do about 4 or 5 Christmas songs, so that will be fun. We did that a couple months ago, and people were just walking through the mall go, what's going on? And so again, you don't need any experience. You don't need a partner. And that's at the L&L Market in Nashville. We'll be teaching some line dancing. Oh, thank you very much, Miss Linda. Oh, yes, one of the best things in our county. And they are doing free carriage rides this Saturday. Thank you, Miss Linda. Travis Price. Okay, so here it is. Winter Wonderland. This is where you can see a bunch of Christmas lights for free, guys. And guess what? This Saturday only, you can get in line and you may possibly get a free carriage ride. And so it is a special walkthrough night this Saturday, but it's going to be going every night, but the carriage rides is only this Saturday night. So they're going to have food trucks, bounce house, petting zoos. Let's see, this carriage rides. Santa, of course, is going to be in the cabin. They're going to have pony rides, inflatables, lots of fun stuff. So that is at Travis Price Park, and that is in Springfield, Tennessee. They're located at 4155 Wilkes Road. That's Wilks Road. And you can drive through between the hours of 5:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. So that is Sunday through Friday. But again, this Saturday is the one that they're also, adding the free carriage rides on a first come, first served basis. So don't be promising the kids just, you can say that we'll get in line and see, because I know that the demand is always more than what the carriages can do. But we hope that you guys will take advantage of that, because the Christmas lights just get better and better each year. What they do is they have different departments from the city do little scenes. And so they kind of all try to outdo each other. So it's beautiful. Stephen, do you have anything else?
Well, we're grateful and thankful to have Mark.
Yes, we are very,
Thank you so
very,
much for
very.
having me.
Yes, thank you so much, Mark, for coming on. This is Mark
Anytime.
Thomas. He is the worship leader over at
Faith Baptist Church.
Faith Baptist Church in Madison, but he is also a fantastic teacher. So, Laverne was talking about in the first hour about, she was talking about the importance of music and the arts in our schools and just in our children's education. And, I've been reading articles lately too about, when kids are taking music classes, how it affects them in so many positive ways, not just, as far as, their happiness level, but also they learn other
It
things.
helps other subjects. yeah.
Other subjects as well. So if your child is not signed up yet,
In short, in the beginning, God created. Whoops, stop right there. God is creative. A little bit later, he made us in his image. We're creative. We're made to do creative things.
I love that.
Satisfying.
I love that. That's really cool. Very good. All right. Well, thank you again, Mark Thomas, for coming out. We appreciate that. And maybe we'll get you back on soon. Closer to the June 7th show. But in the meantime, guys, make sure you put this on your calendar. This is going to be a great show. June 7th, 4 p.m. The warm-up starts at 3:30, which, by the way, you definitely should get there for 3:30, because it's not just a warm-up like a warm-up. It's some good stuff. Matter of fact, I've heard some of my favorite songs during that time. So, and this is going to be at the Grand Ole Opry, on the Grand Ole Opry stage.
Yes, yeah.
Sunday Morning Country. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming on. And this has been The Go Show. If you missed any part of this, remember, guys, it is on Facebook and YouTube. The Facebook link only stays up for about 30 days. So it's good to share the YouTube feature. And also remember, we do have a WSGI phone app. So we hope that you guys will add that and just be listening to WSGI, because Brother T. Rawls put on a bunch of great Christmas music. You'll hear some of your local folks on that. So we hope that you guys will tune in. And again, thanks for tuning in today. You've been listening to 1100 WSGI.